everybody.
Hello. Okay,
Hello,
we'll focus
everyone.
now. We're going to pay
We're
attention.
focusing. Everyone, you are listening to What If Nothing's Wrong with You. My name is Paula D. Atkinson,
I am Lisa KK's.
and this is our friend and producer, Nameka, joining us as always. We have a just light and breezy episode today where we're just going to dive into the
Light and breezy. It's about fascism.
just the breezy, easy, just gonna sit back and relax.
Spa day.
Right. Talk about how fascism is a mental illness. But let's first get into some chit chat. So last time we talked about middle-aged purchases and the beauty that is a power washer. Have you used yours yet, Lisa?
No, it's still in the box. It went from too rainy to too hot. Also, I don't have time because I live in
Washington,
Washington,
D.C. Yeah.
But I'm going to. I think about it a lot.
It's fun. We've had it's so satisfying, but it is powerful. Carlo fucked up one of our outdoor cushions because he was like, how strong is this? And I'm like, it's pretty strong. And he's like, zzz, and it like busted through. I was like, whoa. Do you believe it now, asshole? So
I was going to possibly use it on my cushions on purpose. I guess I won't.
You can, but at a different setting. Like there's different nozzles, and there's one nozzle that's just like pure fire coming out, like just a stream of water fire. So don't use that one.
Don't use that one on my children.
No, you will break skin. Okay. You will break skin. Please don't use that on your
car wash. It's
children or on dogs or anyone. No, and not on cushions, clearly.
But what David would want to know is, was it satisfying?
Deeply.
Okay.
Deeply satisfying.
I got to do it.
My favorite was I did the whole front of the house, and it doesn't actually look any different, I don't think. But while doing it, it felt amazing. And the car was super fun. And my hubcaps, I have like hubcaps, and you can like clean them. I guess if you like get on your hands and knees. I don't know. I'm not doing that. But the power washer, that was amazing.
Did you see? I saw on TikTok, you could have Carlo do this. You put it on the gentle setting, not the heavy. You have
not
to be very
the fire.
Yeah. Have Carlo lay down on the driveway, do it on him, and it makes like a snowman. You know how we used to do snow angels?
Amazing.
They're doing it in the concrete, like with Arizonans, because they have no snow and the kids are doing it. So there's an activity for you.
That's fun when it's 120. Yeah. No, we don't have snow. It's true. Well, the other middle-aged thing that we've been doing to bring a tiny spark of joy into our lives is Lisa and I both adopted dogs. I already had 2. Lisa had 0.
I have never owned a dog in my life. I believed I was not a dog person.
Liar.
I don't know what happened to me, but I went from someone who like literally used to tell my best friend, Carrie, if you're listening, hello. I used to pretend to be allergic to dogs so that her parents would put theirs in the basement. I don't know. I evolved.
You never told me that. That's
amazing. When I was young,
God.
I would pretend to be allergic to dogs so that people.
You didn't grow up with any pets?
No, I was afraid of them. I got bitten on the nose by my grandparents' poodle when I was like 3, maybe or 4.
Poodles are
and evil. I always just felt like, I don't know. But then, when I had like friends that had dogs, Martha and Roger had dogs, and I kind of like developed a relationship with that dog. And then I had another bad dog incident. And so but I don't know what, I just became obsessed with dogs at around the time my son was like, Mom, I need a dog.
Yes.
And I just decided I was going to listen to him. And he was like, it's going to regulate me and be good. And I had to research and it was a whole thing. Dog is the best thing I've ever introduced into my life ever.
Yes. You know what makes you live longer? Dogs. Do you know what makes you live shorter? Husbands.
Regulated me. Yes. Regulated the household. Everyone is happier.
Totally. Oh, that makes me so happy. Yeah.
Love the dog.
Carlo and I both volunteer at the Palm Springs Animal Shelter, which is the bougiest, most well-funded animal shelter in the United States of America. Like, had so much money. But so we were fostering this little Chihuahua for 30 seconds, and now we have adopted her, and her name is Debbie, and she has a dumb underbite, and her back leg is all fucked up, and her knee gets weird, and when she stretches, one leg goes out like a curtsy. It's amazing. She's so cute. And I knew she wasn't going to get adopted because she's kind of like I love her because she's kind of ugly, but usually those dogs don't get adopted a lot. So go
You
adopt an
do
ugly dog.
you love your weird dogs.
I
But if
love
you
an
don't
ugly
want a
dog.
dog, don't go to the rescue or the
Oh
shelter. You're gonna
no,
end just you gotta stay away because you're gonna end up with a
with
dog.
that doggy, with that doggy. But highly
But if
recommend.
in the fascist empire, I'm not sure people don't need more dogs because they make you take more walks and
Yes,
they make you think about snacks more and
yes.
it's just they're just delightful.
They also need routine, and so they
Mhm.
actually like Carlo and I are so much better when we have routine, and we have routine because we have 3 dogs now, and so we need, and so it's like everybody's happier because
Yeah, I'm
everybody's like on the
outside
routine.
more.
Exactly.
It
Mhm.
makes me go outside more. I've met
Uh-huh.
people in my neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
I've noticed
Uh-huh.
things in my neighborhood. I have
Totally.
woods. I have woods I didn't know about. I mean,
Right?
who knew?
It's
Thanks.
amazing.
Thanks, Ace. Good
Go
job, Ace.
go get a doggy from the shelter. Okay, and you went to Indigo Girls again, which I feel like you go, I don't know,
I go, well, they're
once a quarter.
touring like mad people. The older they get, they're like more, we're just never stopping touring.
Good
So I
for
go a
us.
lot.
Great.
Went with one of my BFFs, Britain. We've been going for years. She took me on a little date. What I wanted to report back, because we talked about it last time, is they were playing with the symphony. It was
Amazing.
the local symphony. I didn't realize this. It was like the Fairfax County. I
Oh,
swear to God, it was like
how
10. I don't even, it was
obsessed.
so small. And the whole time, Britton and I were trying to figure out like who, when they came in and said, oh, we're going to do an Indigo Girls show, like who fainted from joy and who was like, who? What? We were trying to gauge that the
Who's
whole
like, "Are they
time.
from the 90s?"
Yeah, I was like,
Right?
I would have passed out if I was in this
Lost
little
my mind.
symphony. Anyway, it
Obsessed.
was they did Go, which if you know
Oh,
the
of
Indigo
course.
Girls, you would not think that's a symphony-like song. It was the
Ugh,
most badass thing I've ever heard, and it created in me I went in a bit of a mood, doing some rumination, the awe. There was just awe, and
art,
I couldn't even remember what I was worrying about. I was like, "What was I worrying about? What was I in a mood about?
art,
I don't know."
art. People expressing themselves, people making beautiful things. Yes, take that in.
And I
Mhm.
just want to add, our friend Pete Bergen, one of our improv friends, the only
Yeah,
straight man who is a deep, deep, deep fan of the Indigo Girls, might be
truth.
going more than I am. Definitely gets better seats. I'm a little mad at him about that. I don't know what transpired, but he and I were having a convo on his Facebook page, and Emily Saliers liked my comment to him.
Wait, it was
And
on Facebook? I didn't
on
understand that part.
Facebook. And neither of us understands how or why she wasn't tagged in it. We don't know what was going on. He's jealous of me because it was my comment, but I'm jealous of him because I was like, are you friends with Emily Saliers?
Is
What's
she
going
stalking
on?
Pete Bergen? What is
I
happening?
don't know what's happening, but there's proof on my Instagram that Emily Saliers liked my comment. And I
Emily, by
have
the
been
way,
high ever since.
Emily, by the way, is one of the 2 Indigo Girls. There are 2 Indigo Girls. Their names are Amy and Emily. If you listen to this podcast, you already know that. That's wild. I didn't realize it was on Facebook. That's even more random.
I've put screenshots up. You can consult.
Okay,
It's
I will.
really weird. It's a mystery. Pete
That's
and I are in a
fascinating.
jealousy feud. We don't know what's going on.
That's so weird.
It's
That's so
very
wild.
weird.
All right, Emily. Yeah, I mean, she is a boomer, so of course she's just hanging out on Facebook. Amazing.
Not knowing how it works,
Not knowing
liking
how
the
it
wrong
works.
thing.
Oh my God! Remember all those posts from your aunt Linda that was like, "Oh, I think I'll have hamburger helper later or whatever," and you're like,
Yeah, or
"That's
the
not how
person that
Facebook
feels
works."
like they have to like everything. I'm like, that would make
Oh,
sense for, but wait, are they boomers? What?
yeah, I think so. They're 60.
I have to take a minute with that.
I'm so sorry.
I mean,
I'm sorry to break it to you.
our boomer
Yeah,
episode is coming up. I mean, this is time.
yeah,
I'm gonna need a minute with that. Off
you're
we
right.
go to Jeff Bezos
Okay,
because I
good.
need with that.
Well, we are recording this right at the beginning of July, and so I have been loudly and ragefully obsessed with the full-on Hunger Games that was happening in Venice over the weekend. I hope we all know that the guest list to Jeff Bezos's wedding is our new boycott list, right? We are not engaging with or giving money to any of the truly, I don't know what those people were called because I never read the Hunger Games. I just saw the movies. I know. I never read them.
So good. They're
I
so
know.
good.
That's what everyone says.
There's now
I'm
backstories. I'm in the backstories. I'm like in the
I'm
it's very good.
I'm so worried that the author is gonna turn out to be a TERF. I feel like all the good all the
That
good
hasn't happened yet, so read them now.
okay.
I have used copies I can send you, and we will give them an
Do it now. Right?
I don't think someone who wrote that could be I
I
don't
know, but, like, that's kinda what we thought about, you know.
I
Anyway,
don't know. Okay, fair.
it was so my favorite part of all of it was the backlash. The tides are turning. That's what makes me so happy is I don't know if I said it on here or my old podcast or whatever, but, like, there was a time in which in American culture we did not worship wealth and we thought and we knew that the rich people were the evil people and that the working class people were the best. It's like John Waters always says, like, when I grew up we hated rich people. Like rich people were the people you hate. You liked the people who were scrappy and working class, like Sanford and Son and those shows that were about like working all in the family, as racist as it was all it was
Little
like
Orphan Annie.
Roseanne.
Exactly. Little Orphan Annie, like there was like scrappiness and that's what we looked up to. And then it was fucking Reagan years. I will go down in history saying Reagan ruined everything. Reagan years was when we started getting Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, Dynasty, Dallas, Falcon Crest. This is when we started worshiping whiteness and wealth. And it's fucking gross. And if you want to barf in your mouth and if you want to like really feel the disgustingness that is billionaire culture, the pictures from Jeff Bezos this is the Hunger Games. We are here. We have arrived. Where's Stanley Tucci? He's the only good part about that. It's so gross. I loved everything that the Italians were doing. If you want to know an opinion, ask an Italian. And I loved that the Italians were like, the huge thing in the square of Jeff Bezos's face, the one of Jeff Bezos' doll in the canal holding onto the Amazon box. I was like, get it, Italians.
When I saw those, I thought of what you said about absurdity. Like the more fascist and horrible, the more absurd and all of that like comedic kind of like taking a stand against it. I was like, oh, that's what Paula means because that's funny.
It's funny. We are on with the funny people. Yes. So fuck Oprah, fuck Gail, fuck Sydney Sweeney. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. Like fucking disgusting. Just disgusting. So they can all get fucked.
And in related news, about I watched, but I don't know what happened to me that I found this show on Netflix, but I found this show called Unreal.
Oh yeah, make a watch this. Right?
It is right because it is
Mm-hmm.
a fictionalized tale of the behind the scenes producing of like things like The Bachelorette, but it was done based on the lived experience of one of those producers.
Yeah.
And I knew that those shows, because when I watch that in The Real Housewives, I'm always trying to figure out like I need to know the mechanics under it. And I'm always thinking like, why do people agree to behave this badly? But I assumed that when they said they were produced and scripted, I assumed like they were given kind of a scripted arc of a whole season and like, okay, you're signing on to play this villain because it's going to help your brand XYZ. That's what I figured was going on. No. These people are being so profoundly manipulated in the darkest ways. And the reason, I'm not saying you need to sit down and watch this show. It is interesting and weirdly addictive in that way that we talked about we can tolerate because it's like, oh, white rich people being terrible. I can tolerate this.
I'm into it. Yeah.
But I mean, it is disturbing. And I did have to Google, like, is this connected to reality? Numerous times. But that it shows us how, like, when people get taken into that the container that we are in, which I think is related to what you're about to talk about with fascism, shapes our behavior.
Yes.
Like people would do things in a bad container that they would never do. And you see that in this show. It also shows us the extent to which sex and love are propaganda being manufactured and sold, and it is all fake and lies.
Fascinating.
the idea of attention as commodity, harkening back to our last episode. And
Totally.
then if you want some diabolical therapists, Nameka knows because he watched Diabolical.
Amazing.
This is the show. It's only like 4 seasons, Nameka? It's
Oh,
not
it's
like
4
a long.
seasons.
Is it? Was it 4?
No, I thought it was 3.
Maybe 3.
Was it
It's
4?
maybe, I don't know. I'm saying it ends. It's not like,
Yeah.
you're going to be
Oh, yeah.
watching it for the rest of your life. It's like
No.
it's got an
Love
ending.
that.
Yep.
It is a fascinating take on when you watch people in cults, including like, I think even MAGA, Fox News, like, that the way that people get sucked in, and when you are being influenced, all
Yeah.
behavior is interactive. It's not individually
Right.
chosen, and it's such an interesting case study in that.
Fascinating. And I like,
So,
and didn't Constance Zimmer write it?
obviously, I have no idea who you're talking about.
Of course.
Or who starred on it. I
Or
don't know.
starred in it. No. Okay. Well, I don't know why I asked that question. That
Nameka
was
didn't know
my
who
bad.
Emily Saliers was, and I just want to
So
say
there
that.
we go. For the record, Emily. Yes, Nameka didn't know who Emily Sarah. Okay, I will watch it. That sounds good. Actually,
Yeah.
we need a shitty show. We always have a shitty show that we watch when I am getting ready for bed. Or yeah. Okay. Great.
You're not going to be able to get ready for bed, though. You are going to need
to watch.
You got to track this thing.
Oh, so then we need our Real Housewives.
It is not the Real Housewives. You're going to have to track it to see
that's
how
what
diabolical
I'm like
it
brushing
all is.
my teeth, and Carlo is watching Real Housewives, and I'm like, borderline personality disorder, and he's like, what? I'm like,
Covert narcissist.
It's called splitting. It's called splitting.
Triangulation.
It's really fun. Okay, I have something. Oh, I wanted to promote the 5 Calls app. Do you know what this is?
Oh, yeah.
So there's more and more apps coming out for us white people who don't know how to fight ICE, etc. And I learned this from Jenny Yang, who's an amazing comedian. I love her, and it's specifically her episode with Maria Bamford, who I plugged Maria Bamford's book. Sure, I'll join your cult. I have loved Maria Bamford for a long time. She's so weird and wacky, and the thing I love about her is she's weird and wacky and so deeply radical in her politics, even though she's like a white lady from Minnesota. So she was on Jenny Yang's podcast, which is called What Should We Talk About? And Jenny Yang went through this whole thing about like white women. If you want to use your whiteness for good, these are the things you should do. And one of the things that was the easiest thing that I did immediately, and then I did my 5 calls, was the 5 Calls app. Download it. It tells you exactly, you put in your zip code, it tells you exactly who to call. It gives you a script to call. It could not be easier. And for those of us who are overwhelmed by all of the horrors and you want to be able to do something, super easy.
So you mean I could vent my rage at someone who could actually, probably not listening to me, but instead of just venting to my friends or yelling at my phone, I could vent it to someone who actually is in power and at least be yelling at the right person.
Who works for me, for the fucking record, who works for me, who I elected, or other people elected, but now works for me because you are a public servant. So yes, it's really easy and lovely. There's another app that I think is working out the kinks. It just came out the other day, and it's called Ice Block, which I love.
Ooh.
And it's working out the kinks right now. It's not so great. It just came out on Monday. So, but when you see ice in your neighborhood, you can put it on here, and it alerts people, and it's in English and in Spanish, so that it alerts people around. So the more and more people who just maybe right now just download it, the more people who download it, the more they're going to work out the kinks, and the more people that they know have it, so that they can, because we had raids yesterday in Palm Springs, and our chief of police, who is, I think, an actually good person, which is shocking. He has given out these things of like, if you see people call and they do not identify themselves and they're wearing masks, then call 911, because our police officers will escort them out.
And
they should be arrested.
If they do not have a warrant with someone's name signed by a
judge,
it's not real.
None of it's real.
Tons of information on the internet. We should all know it, because they are showing up in wild and like,
it's so gross,
not in like anywhere and everywhere. So yeah, it's a very good thing to know about, because you might be able to be of assistance.
So Ice Block, You can
Great.
download that one as well. Those are 2 apps. Download apps, it's literally the least we can do.
Least we can do.
Literally. Okay, we have a therapy horror story to go
So,
over.
and this one transitions into your spa day of
I feel
fascism. So
easy breezy fascism.
easy breezy fascism. So this one said, I wanted to, so this is what the person is saying, not me. I wanted to explore, quote, doing less and setting healthy boundaries and taking more of a pause before agreeing to things or taking on extra clients, volunteer opportunities, etc. In parentheses, I am a therapist. My therapist said to me every single session, even the first one, you should really see more clients. You should really take on more clients. You're a great therapist.
Ew. Why? Why?
I'm coming to therapy because I really like the color blue. Why? Why don't you like red? What's wrong with red?
Like, also, I mean, I'm about to get into all of this, but like, this is the achievement nonsense. This is the like, you should have more money. This is like, it's all of the things that actually cause all of our mental suffering.
Yeah.
But this person is a therapist helping, quote unquote, another therapist. Why?
Well, and the number of times in my supervision, this is fresh on my mind today because I was working on my novel and I was putting this in. And I forgot the number of times that I would go to supervision and be told you need to raise your rates. It was like, that's not what I'm asking. It was just like, it's like, that was not my question. And like, but it was just like this constant, what's getting in the way of you raising your rates? Do you not feel entitled? Do you not have enough self? I'm like, I am trying, what? The constant like money. And this is about, and it's just like, it's so
Gross.
disturbing.
Well, and it's everything I've talked about like you have to keep a client for a long time or there's something wrong with you. You have to charge a lot. I've gotten that I shouldn't have sliding scale rates at all. And if I do have sliding scale rates, I should get proof of their bank account.
Oh yeah. You should sit down with them and go, oh, I was trained to sit down with them and go over it with a spreadsheet.
I am
and if
not an accountant.
I was like a bad, lenient person. Oh, that's like, like what's wrong with you?
Gross.
It's like, and yeah, it's and it reminds me the other part about, take more clients. You're such a good therapist. Like, so, well, let's think about that. Even if we don't care about our patient who's in front of us, let's just take that aside. Do we care about her clients who now are going to have a burnt out therapist and not good quality? So do we care? Are we caring at all about anybody? I used to sit with therapists who said, I'm going to die in the chair. I will never retire. I will die in the chair. And I would always think, but what if I'm sitting across from you? I don't think I will find that healing. But the number of therapists that believe that, say that, and will do that with no regard. People finally started writing articles about like, you know what? That may not be the best. Like, yes, there's virtue and wisdom and like blah, blah, blah. But
sure.
That callous attitude of like, are you thinking at all about what that means for the people across from you?
Like, it's like our fucking government. You're 90 years old, retire, bitch.
There's like a break. Jesus,
there's a 35-year-old Black woman that should be in your place right now. Retire. We need young people. Oh my God. So
anyway, we do not find that healing. We did not find that interaction healing. We are glad that you sent that as a horror story, but like if someone is pushing you, whether it's a therapist or anyone else, beyond your capacity, that is deeply questionable.
And also, if you come to any therapist and you tell the truth of your experience and the therapist argues with you, that's a bad therapist. That is not therapy. If you are going to therapy because you want to anything that's not illegal or harmful to other humans, and that therapist is like, no, you don't. You actually want blank. That's not therapy. That's recruitment. That's recruiting you to their religion.
Go watch Unreal and then be like, oh, I don't want to. This is a bad producer. It's not a good producer. That's how you can think about that. Watch Unreal and be like, is my therapist this really terrible producer? Or like,
probably,
because it also shows the power that people have of like suggestion. Yeah, think of therapists like the producer in Unreal. Interesting.
Yeah,
let's all go do that.
All therapists are Andy. Every therapist is a version of Andy
Yeah.
Cohen. Is it evil Andy Cohen or is
Yeah.
it good Andy Cohen? Andy Cohen
Like,
is pure
what's
evil.
their agenda? They're getting a
Yeah.
bonus if a certain thing happens. Like,
Yes.
there's an
Gross.
agenda. If the
Yes.
agenda is not your well-being, like, no.
Right. Then, and if the agenda is not the therapist helping you get what you
Right.
want, it's not therapy.
No.
Great. All right, let's slide
Okay.
on into fascism. Okay.
Just some gentle fascism.
We're
Gentle
ready
little
just
fascism sauna.
right. Everyone buckle up because we're about to get real Aquarius. We're
Get your
zooming.
weighted blanket. Get your weighted blanket and your
Right.
stuffy. Maybe your dog if you got one.
Because I am an alien from another planet. And so we're getting really meta out here. But I wanted to talk about, I mean, within the context of, what if nothing's wrong with you? I wanted to talk about how fascism is mental illness. It's a mental disorder. And it is created in the same soup that all of the depression and anxiety and everything that you experience, it's all the same soup that is creating the fascist regime of right now. So because I need things to be clearly defined, let's just clearly define all of these terms. So first of all, mental illness defined as a clinically significant disturbance in an individual's cognition, emotional regulation, or behavior. Also, a wide range of conditions that negatively affect mood, thinking, and behavior. I feel like fascism can fall under that.
Yes. Well, I'm also thinking who's defining negative? Who's like now that I'm looking at that again, I'm like, ooh, who's defining negative? Who's defining apparent behavior?
Well, and
what
you and I talk about it. Yeah, exactly.
And what I'm thinking about also is, isn't it interesting that we have a whole DSM of all these diagnoses, but fascism isn't in it? Like, why might that be? Right? Why are the behaviors
Exactly.
directly linked to that would help you identify, oh,
Right.
this is not good, what I am
Right.
seeing all in a package, which is
Right.
why is interesting that that's not a DSM diagnosis.
Interesting. But however, we're about to go into that it actually is. So so that's the definition of mental illness, right? Conditions that negatively affect a mood, thinking, and behavior. I think if you are fascist, your mood is negatively affected. Your thinking is negatively affected and your behavior is negatively affected, gestures broadly, right?
Which if I could just say really quickly,
Yeah.
going back to the Hunger Games is why if you look at Vietnam, where they were agents of empire, the Americans in that war. If you if you read the Hunger Games, if you read it, Paula,
Sorry.
everyone is high and drunk. And there is a reason that they are to tolerate being in a fascist mentality.
Yes.
You have to dehumanize not only everyone else, but yourself by not being in your body. So it's an interesting thing to observe when you watch Nazi Germany, anything you read about Nazi Germany, they're all drunk. Fiction or real, they're all high on something.
Of course, they have to be in order to dehumanize. You have to be. Exactly. Great. The definition of fascism is a political philosophy, movement, or regime that exalts nation and often race above all, with a centralized government headed by one fascist leader, characterized by severe economic and social regimentation, and by forcible suppression of the opposition. Basically, fascism it's imperialism. Fascism is like the extreme version of imperialism, right? Imperialism is our nation is better. We are better than everybody. It is the delusion of superiority. And fascism is that taken all the way to the extreme that everybody that is not us is the enemy and is inferior to us. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Jason Stanley defines fascism as infinite loyalty to the state, ethnic identity, religion, tradition, in a word, a nation, right? So infinite loyalty, no matter what, infinitely loyal.
I think what you're saying is, if I were to summarize it, is it's infinite loyalty and devotion to anything that is not my lived experience.
Correct.
It's outside my lived experience. It's an abstract idea that someone else is making up. So anytime I'm being asked to be loyal to something that comes from not in me, I might want to wonder about its agenda or if it's a little fascist.
It's also infinite loyalty to things that are made up, things that are fairy tales. Race is not real. It's made up. The state, California, is like the borders are not real. It's made up. Right?
Money is not.
Money is not real. It's made up. Like, it's infinite loyalty to things that aren't real. Whenever we are infinitely loyal to an illusion, we suffer.
Diet. Yeah.
Diets,
Skinniness.
right? The superiority of body shape. Anything we are infinitely loyal to something that's not real, that's made up, we will suffer. And it's a mental illness. Just like if I became infinitely loyal to my imaginary friend who's not real, like I would be diagnosed with a mental illness. If I was like, well, my friend Annabelle here says I have to murder everybody, they put me away. However, if people are like, well, this guy number 47, again, presidency's not even real. None of it's real.
The American flag is somebody made it up.
Exactly. It's all made up. Okay. And so lastly, the definition of delusion is holding false beliefs or judgments about external reality that are held despite evidence to the contrary, typically as a symptom of a mental illness. So the holding false beliefs, no, America's real, even though there is so much evidence that shows that if this Border Patrol guy wasn't here, this would just be land. Like it's not real, but we are going to hold on to this false belief that they are the enemy, and right, it's all this nonsense. None of it's real. So why does any of this matter, and why won't I shut up about it? Because it's helpful to remember, under the umbrella of what if nothing's wrong with you, what is happening is an epidemic of collective delusion. That's what fascism is. It is collective delusion. That's what the United States is. I think that's what economics is. I think. And as always, the bizarre idea that you, listener, alone can and should be able to be happy, content, sane, calm, regulated nervous system if you just work hard enough at it, and that there's something wrong with you individually if you feel a wee bit not happy, calm, safe, sane, etc., in the midst of an epidemic of collective delusion. That's nuts. Like, if you feel great right now, you're not paying attention, It's like, of course you don't feel good. And it's all part of the same scam of like, you can have whatever you want if you just work hard enough. You can have sanity and calmness. This is why, like, white people, spirituality, like white yoga lady spirituality of like, we should be able to be calm no matter what, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I get it on some level, right? That like Tibetan Buddhist monks can do that. But like, it's also like any discomfort that you're feeling is not because you're doing life wrong. It's because you're conscious in 2025.
Well, and it's like, and then it's sort of, when we take that too far, like you should be Zen no matter what, you deserve. I feel like it always comes to like, you deserve to be Zen.
Happy.
Like,
right.
Who does that serve? Who does that
Exactly.
give permission to shut up,
Right.
look away? Who exactly does that serve? Because, and that discomfort, because also you don't want to be Zen in a burning house. I don't want you to be Zen if the house is on fire. I wish for you to activate and get out of that damn house.
Right.
And that's like, and I think too, that discomfort that people desperately want to escape. I mean, I want to escape it. Everyone wants to escape it.
Which is, of course, absolutely.
Is dangerous, and it leads to us being susceptible to like joining the cult.
Exactly.
Because the way to resolve
not paying attention
is to go, you know what, fine, I'll put on the uniform. I don't want to deal with all this cognitive dissonance. I don't want to deal with the anxiety of all of this. I mean, I've listened to people over the last couple months say, can we just get to the fascism already? This is very stressful. And
the in-between phase.
Wanting out of that is how you end up with people that'll be like, I'll sign on because this is horrible. And so that's why they're doing this on purpose. And it's, of course, so teaching you that your anxiety is something that you deserve relief from is a problematic idea that we want to yes, is it a bad idea to like take a nap and get a break? No. But the global extreme scale of that is deeply problematic, and it serves somebody.
It serves them. Yeah. Well, and also when I think about my definition of anxiety, which is just the denial of your own intuition, right? And remembering that the state deliberately pathologizes your intuition so you'd more easily trust the propaganda instead of your own internal knowing. Like, it's all part of it. That's all diet culture is. Like, if they brainwash you to trust external sources for what your body needs over your body's signals, then you will oppress yourself. Then you will diet. Then you will live on fucking protein powder instead of actual food, right? Then you will buy more nonsense and you will not listen to your body, because the listening to your body is the opposite of fascism, because your body just wants to hang out with your neighbors and like grow corn and like be nice, right?
Power
But
wash the car.
and power wash the car and say hi to your neighbor and give away food and and give and receive, right? But that's not what we're doing in capitalism. We are everybody's hoarding our shit, right? And that's why we're all miserable. So again, like, I'm bringing this up because I think our job as a therapist, as the way Lisa and I do our job anyway, is to reframe each individual client's internal turmoil as a completely valid response to the bizarre and insane way we live life in Western late stage capitalism. Literally everything, all of your depression, all of your sadness, all of your anxiety is not a disorder. It's actually very orderly. It's actually a really brilliant way that you are managing the fact that we don't live in tribes and, bleed into the earth and howl at the moon every month. That's what we're supposed to be doing. So in the same way in which we're trying to remind you all of that there's nothing wrong with you, that your anxiety and depression symptoms are completely valid responses. I think also it's good to remember that the rise of fascism is a completely natural evolution of the imperialistic superiority bullshit soup that we were all brought up in. Like, we are just reached the pinnacle of what started it in 1776. We're just here. I'm so sorry that we're alive during it. But like, this is how it goes, right? Like, this is how empires go. We are better than everybody else. Like, post World War II was like, that just put a fire under its ass of like, we are so much better. We beat the Nazis. Isn't that fascinating? And here we are. What you talk about with the Vietnam and your dad, and like, that put a fire under it. He is the completely natural end of 200 something years of believing that we're better than everybody else, and the way we live is better than everybody else, and the imperialistic superiority nonsense of like, whiteness is better and capitalism is better and all of this is better. This is the bad place.
It's the bad place. And I feel like what came into my mind was, I feel like we're going to just take a moment and talk about Star Wars. Just a little Star Wars moment.
Right.
Because, and I think what's so confusing is that we are all raised obviously on Star Wars, because except for Paula, which whatever, we're not going to get into it, but everyone else except Paula and my friend Stephanie, anyway, Nameka and I are just going to deal with it. But to believe, I think that the way that they did the mind flip, so Star Wars, I don't know if people know this. I didn't know this till recently. George Lucas based Star Wars on the American troops in Vietnam.
Yeah.
The Empire was the American troops in Vietnam.
Yes.
And so we are now, like, we have to make decisions every day about, am I a stormtrooper or am I a Jedi? That's how I look at it. Is this a Jedi decision or is this a stormtrooper decision?
Hot.
And I think that Americans have been deluded, back to your idea of deluded, into thinking whatever we do as Americans is the Jedis, because we have been brainwashed and deluded into America's always doing the right thing. Our media is shaped to make us believe we are always the good guys. Because I watch it and I'm like, how do people not know that this is a stormtrooper behavior? This is a stormtrooper thing we're doing over here. Like, but Americans we have had our consciousness so cultivated.
So propaganda
Discern we have lost our capacity to discern anymore, assuming you're not like poor and you have to go become a stormtrooper just to eat, which is a whole other way that they get everyone.
Good for you. Totally.
But like, there's multiple ways we can like get someone to be complicit as a stormtrooper, but it's like that delusional part, I think now is like, so it should be so clear, but it's so not. And I think about that all the time, that I think it's because we believe whatever we do, we're the Jedis. And it's like, no, that's not how that works. You have to decide every day.
No. Carrie Fisher told us too before she died. She was like, "You guys, we're not the good guys.
No,
You guys."
no.
Yeah,
George Lucas knew. You guys, you
of
can
course he
Google
did.
it.
Yeah, Google it. But it's everything, right? But I was just talking to my client about it's Star Wars. It's it is Hunger Games. It's all of it. It's every story. Every story is good, communal, right? It's like we talked about at the beginning of Wonder Woman and what was the other movie that starts out with all the women get the Mad Max movies, the ones with Charlize Theron, the recent Mad Max movies, they all start with women just like babies on breasts and everyone eating fruit and hanging out and everything's fine. And then the men come in, right? And everything is like communal, community based. We are one with nature, which is the only thing that's true, is Mother Nature. And then the opposite is narcissism. The opposite is the individual, the hoarding. That's why, like, I struggle so hard with our profession because so many of the supervisors, I'll put that in quotes because they didn't supervise shit, but so many of the supervisors that I had were so diluted into capitalism is just narcissism as an economic system. Imperialism is just narcissism as a foreign policy. Capitalism is just narcissism in the sense of hoarding. Mine, 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 mine. And that even exists, that I can have things that are just mine and no one can ever take it and blah, blah, blah. And we're all in our little boxes with our numbers on our screen and blah, blah, blah. And like, those are the people that are teaching me how to increase sanity. That is insanity.
And that we are, and I just had an incident of this. I mean, I just keep running into this everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm.
There's that part of our profession. And like, okay, we're the wellness people. But what happens with, if we want to talk about just behavioral narcissism or fascism, you have to be able to excuse any kind of bad behavior in the name of the cause.
Exactly.
Right? Or like, and then even after it, right? You have all these books about like, well, was it anybody's fault? Bystanders, nobody. I mean, it's all whatever. But therapists also, as a group, I will say 80 to 90%, based on my anecdotal observations in a lot of groups now, cannot hold a boundary, cannot say no. Right. To a narcissist. And I will like set a boundary. I will say no. This literally
I've seen it happen,
just
you
happened
guys.
to me.
Lisa.
I do it. And what happens is that all the therapists will twist it into like, well, aren't you just being exclusionary now? Don't we have to love everyone? There's no we have a colleague that we both just love. I don't know if he'd want me to say his name attached to us or say their name attached to this, so I won't. But said there's no floor, there's no bottom to the behavior that we will accept, which is that's what fascism starts to look like. We could put people in gas chambers in the name of this. Right. And therapists, by and large, do that too. They have no capacity to discern, like, no, this is not acceptable behavior. You can come back, but you can't act like this. They lose their minds and they fight about it. And they're like, we can't hardly be, I don't know. Therapists are confused about power.
Well, because our entire industry, the thing that we do was created within the narcissistic systems of the time, right?
Like enable it.
To enable narcissism.
That's why I referenced, why is this not in the DSM as a mental disorder? There's a reason, because our entire field is set up to enable this.
To enable the narcissism of capitalism, the narcissism of hoarding, the narcissism
of patriarchy, of sexual predators, of men doing whatever they want to women. It's an enabling device. And it's not been fun to discover.
It's not super fun, but it's also like it creates more of it because it's and this is the achievement shit that you and I have talked about within our job too, right? That like there's always something to achieve, because if you achieve it, you will be superior to the people who haven't achieved it. And you do that by work, right? This is all fascist language, right? It does not actual
work
healing
and approval.
Work and
approval. That's what I've realized. You got to have approval of the people at the top. And so that keeps everybody working towards the worst behavior.
and the external validation of whoever the therapist is, whoever the therapist supervisor is, whoever the therapist supervisor is, right? That there is a top, that there is a ladder. And that's the main illusion of all of this, is that there is a ladder, because the truth is that no human is better or worse than any other human ever. And the hierarchy, the ladder, right? That's what Sonia Renee Taylor talks about so beautifully in The Body Is Not an Apology. Like, the ladder doesn't exist ever. It's never existed. It will never exist. But we're so devoted to it. And specifically, I mean, imperialism is that. The United States is that. We are better than other countries. We are better than third world countries. Okay, third world countries, right? Right. That's not real. None of that's real. So fascism is the collective delusion, because it exalts the idea that the hierarchies exist. And
Well,
a lot
it
of
creates the anxiety that you're not going to eat, that makes you need to go up the ladder.
Of course. And psychotherapy supports the latter, in that you can be better than you were a month ago if you talk to me once a week and you pay me this much money, and we can achieve together you being better than the people that don't talk to me once a week for money. It's all crazy.
Yeah. And what I think the thing that may be helpful for people to know, because it's another litmus test for your therapist, if you have a moral dilemma, which I have gone to supervisors and therapists with like moral, ethical dilemmas about our profession, like things that needed to be resolved and acted upon, and there are codes and there are rules. Every therapist I went to has told me to take non-ethical action. Right. And so, like, oh, just, preserve yourself. Oh, don't cause trouble. Which would leave victims in the wake. And if I am gunning for those people's approval to advance, and if I need, then I have to set my intuition and my instincts and my moral compass aside. I have to decide, okay, am I going to do the right thing? I just had a supervisee going, what is this I'm in? I can't, everybody around me is telling me to do woefully unethical stuff. And I'm like, oh, girl, welcome. Because it's like, do I want a job? Or do I want a paycheck? Yeah. So the capitalism and the intersection, that's how that works. And the need for the approval. And then pretty soon, nobody's acting in an ethical, protective, safe way. And it's like, well, now what are we doing? This is a mess.
We're doing business. We're not actually healing. Yeah. Yeah.
Gross.
It is gross. It is gross. And so my final thought is not my final thought. It's my one of my teacher's final thoughts. So my teacher Ram Dass, and I know I've said this on here before, but it just requires a constant reminder. Ram Dass talks about how he learned when he went to India and got out of psychology, stopped being the head of the psychology department at Harvard, when he got fired for handing out mushrooms to his students. He went to India and he realized that our brains are constant them machines. It makes thems all day long. Them. There's us and then there's them. And so anytime you can bust through the delusion of them, that there is us, because there's no such thing. There is only us. And I get caught in this right now. Like, but that, these people are, and there are people who are right now creating a genocide. It's true. That's not a them though. That's an us. We are doing that, right? Like, there are the people that voted for number 47. I would love to make them a them. I mean, I didn't vote for him, but it's all us. And like, that's the part, whenever we get caught in the them and us and them, we're in it. We're in it right now. My brain is doing it right now. Them does not exist. It's an illusion.
Yes. And I think where everybody gets mixed up. Yeah. Because it doesn't mean, oh, I got to go be friends with everybody. It doesn't mean you got to have a kumbaya situation with everybody.
No.
But because we can say certain behaviors are not okay. Yeah. But I think that what we do have to do is say, oh, the roots of this behavior, like somebody becomes, like we learned from Star Wars, people become Jedis and stormtroopers based on their experience, based on what they're exposed to. It's luck. They have a story. The genocide that's been created, it was created by another freaking genocide, guys. A lot of bad choices were made by a lot of bad actors. Like, one of the things that I love that I learned about group was anything that happens in a group is the result of the minds of every single person in the group. Nothing is individual. And I find that
Right.
so helpful because it's like there's people watching, there's people allowing. Like we can't blame
Right.
one person, but I think where therapists and people can get confused is, oh, well, if I think about Darth Vader's backstory, then I have to excuse everything and I have to
No.
like give him a big hug. And it's like, no,
That's
we
not what
can
I'm saying.
honor the backstory. We could perhaps learn from the backstory. We could maybe think of a more adaptive response than becoming Darth Vader to dealing
Right.
with a little pain and disappointment because we didn't get the girlfriend we wanted, than like creating a damn Death Star.
Is that his
But like,
story?
yeah, I can't believe you don't know. Anyway, it's like, but therapists
Wow.
go, oh, he had a hard childhood. This is how abuse gets perpetuated in therapy
Right.
and encouraged. He had a hard childhood, so you can't stand up to him, set a boundary, leave his ass, and divorce him. Those are different things. Like,
It's not
you
that
can
we
have compassion and you can see that there's you and that you in the situation could have done that, and you can draw a freaking line about the behavior.
because if there's no them, if there's no such thing as them, if I and it's true that there are past parts of me that said terrible things, that thought terrible things, that like
Lord,
did horrendous, unethical things. I can love those parts of myself and be like, no, we are not
we don't do
doing
that
that
anymore.
No, we
Yeah.
are better than that. We are not doing that. So it's not a there's no such thing as them, so we excuse bad behavior. It's there's no such thing as them, so I'm not tolerating bad behavior.
It's
think it's
also
the
it's because
opposite.
I love them. I just
Exactly.
said this to somebody in therapy.
It's not loving.
They were like, well, I can't say no about this. And the no they needed to say was about something that this person wanted to do that was going to be harmful to them. And I said, how do you know that saying no is not a loving thing to do?
It's so loving.
Setting a limit. I mean, even the person always has the freedom to say, well, F you, I'm going to do what I want. Sure.
Great.
But it is a loving act to say, I
Yes.
can't be a part of this. I'm not participating in it. I don't think it's good for you. I love you. I will not participate in it.
Yes.
Is stopping someone else from dangerous behavior.
Yes.
What is going on? If we're like, no, we can't. We have to just give everyone what they want. Like, oh my God.
But that's how you make number 47. That's how
Yeah.
that happens when everybody
Yeah.
gets what they want all the time. That's not good.
No.
No.
Growing
You
a
have to say
backbone and
no.
saying no and having boundaries is one of the most loving thing you can do for the people around you, even if they hate you for it in the
In
moment.
the same way that I mean, I am not a parent, but when you are parenting, do you let your kid do whatever they want and say whatever they want? That's not helpful for future
Nope.
generations.
Nope. Terry Real calls that a form of child abuse. He actually
is.
came up with and kind of popularized, which was very helpful, the idea that that is neglect. That's child
It
abuse
is.
to not
It is.
say to a kid, like, you're out of line. You can't act that way. That's wrong. Because then it's really not the kid's fault when they grow, but you can still divorce them, just to say, but that's not really the kid's fault that they grow up to be a total asshole. Like,
Right.
we need guidance. And it's like, so it's all, this is fascinating. We started off on fascism. I didn't know we were going to end up here. I mean,
Well,
what a
but
world.
that's what happens. But that's what Dr. Ramani talks about too, that narcissism comes from either telling a kid that they're a piece of shit and they're terrible and they're horrible and nobody loves them, or telling a kid that they're the best kid in the world and blah, blah, blah. Again, the delusion of individualism, the delusion of being better or worse than other people. You're not better or worse than anybody. Nobody.
No, you got to teach kids to relate to each other as equals.
Right. Nobody's a special snowflake and everybody's a special snowflake, it turns out. Yeah, everybody is.
And everything is a paradox. How
Right.
wonderful. We are all Darth Vader and
we are all
Anakin
Princess Leia.
Skywalker. And Paula doesn't even know what I'm saying right now.
I do. Anything that relates to Carrie Fisher, I have seen and I am into. Anything without Carrie Fisher, I'm not into. I don't need that. But I do. But again, every story is the same story. That's the thing too, is that they're all myths, and so it's all the same thing. But I do know who these people are. You know who I live with. I know
But
who
do you
I
mean when I say we are all Darth Vader and we are all Anakin Skywalker? Like, do you know what that
Yes.
means?
I do. I don't know why Darth Vader is Darth Vader, but I do know that he is bad, and I do know that he's Anakin Skywalker's father,
Wait,
isn't he? No, he's Luke Skywalker's father.
he's
Fuck.
literally.
Right.
She doesn't know what I mean.
I
He
know.
is. Wait,
No,
Darth
he
Vader
is
is. He is Anakin Skywalker. What?
I
You
got
didn't
it. I got
know.
it.
You
I
don't
got
know
it.
what I'm saying.
I know.
Everyone on planet Earth does,
I
but
don't
you
get it.
don't.
I don't get it. This is how I feel when we talk about drag queens, by the way. So there we go. It all comes out in the end.
We all have our niche.
There
all
we
have our
go.
niche.
There we go. Well, I hope that was helpful. I know that was a little meta and a little out there, but I don't know. I feel like it needed to be said.
Needed to be said.
I think so. It's like it's not the fascist fault, and also we will hold them accountable for their crimes. Both those things are true.
Yeah.
You know? If you have questions about fascism, if you have questions about anything, if you have we love your therapist horror stories. We love them
Those
so
were the
much.
best, y'all.
So please keep sending those in if you have more. Yeah. Like us, request us, tag to us,
subscribe,
Subscribe.
ring the bell. Give us a iTunes review. That'd be so great. And we will talk to you next time. I hope everybody is hanging in there. Take rests, and then make your 5 calls.
Take a break, get a dog, make 5 calls.
Totally.
In that order.
Yeah. Have a smoothie. Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. See you next time.
This podcast and any written materials related to it represent the opinions of Paula Atkinson and Lisa K, and our guests to the show and any written materials. The content here should not be taken as medical advice. It is for informational and educational purposes only, and because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional for any medical questions. In no way does listening, reading, emailing, or interacting on social media with our content establish a doctor-patient relationship.